So how about this? Okay. Hey guys. Oh, now I'm all stuffy. Okay, guys, I want to talk to you about a couple of programs today that are extremely cool and very useful. The first one is more of a technique talk one, but we're going to get into it anyway because this is Pure Ref, and I have just recently found Pure Ref. Um, Pure Ref is like, man, Pure Ref is like an image board slash Pinterest. So basically, what you can do here, let me get to the right screen, is if I were to, let's say these are all my references, and I'm going to save this right now. So we're going to save as, um, and we're going to call this the AAW reference. And that's for a class that I'm in. But then we're going to do a new scene. And this is probably on the wrong day's videos, but let me go ahead and open up Pinterest. I know that in the tattoo world, Pinterest is a pretty bad word because of all the dummies coming in and getting little tiny Pinterest tattoos and ripping shit off. But Pinterest has an awesome algorithm for showing more images of the same ones that you got. So if you were to open up Pinterest or Instagram or any software, so if there's a hotkey in PureRef, Control Shift A, and that'll keep it always on the top. So no matter what you do, it's on top. If you disable that, obviously other images can go on, or other windows can go on top. I'm gonna have to go over this one again on a Thursday, but I really like it. I want everybody that has a desktop or has the power to use it to use it. There's obviously different ways to do this in Procreate and stuff. But this is a sleeve that I'm getting ready to start working on. A lot of these are AI images. Some of them are tattoos. But when I see the ones that I actually like, because what I'll do is I'll save these and then I'll share this with the client and we can kind of like talk about some of the ideas in here together. And like I was saying, Pinterest is really great at, it has a great algorithm at showing similar images. So sometimes before I'm going to sculpt something, you want to have at least enough images to kind of go off of. Even if it's not that exact thing, you just want some reference in there. So we're going to start just dragging these from the browser into this window, right? And that's all it is. We're just going straight to that window, and it's going to keep it there. So we like these different images. Let's not do that one. Let's do this one. Let's go this one. Matt's getting a mythology sleeve. We're gonna need some filigree in here. Do we have Poseidon yet? Another Hercules. I kind of like the way that this person. I don't really like this galaxy thing here, but I could riff off of that. So anyway, you get rid of your window. Now you have this is all your reference board, right? And you can resize these images on here however you want, lay them out however you want. The board will grow in size to fit what you do. So whether you want to have the pictures large or small, it's your business. And then you can zoom in and you can zoom out. And it'll zoom based on like where you have the mouse. You can right click it all over the page and then you can hit Control Shift A to keep it on top. Now, this is something I'm going to work on, not something I'm working on right now. So let's go ahead and save it. Save it as Matt's Mythology Sleeve. So this program is called Pure Ref. It's definitely worth checking out. Load recent AAW reference. And then you can have that right back. So anytime you're working on a similar project, you can just go back to the old set, right? So say you wanted to make a sculpture or do a drawing, and you do these like kind of alien girls a lot. You can just open the same reference all the time and work off of that stuff. You can add to it, take it away. So it's very useful. It's very simple, very plain. There's no other stuff in the windows. There's no other controls other than just moving the images around, resizing them, that kind of stuff. So it's definitely worth checking out. It kind of seems pointless when you first do it. Like I can have a window open of the Pinterest on a different screen, and then that's not that big of a deal. But it's definitely worth it to try it out. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is kind of more technology, but also technique. Is let's see, let's get rid of this. Krita. So this is Krita. If you notice it, you might notice that it looks a lot like SketchUp or Photoshop. Few differences. It is an open source program. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's free. It might have been $15. But a lot of these programs, they'll have one tool that's insanely cool, right? So there was a program out a few years ago called Alchemy that did this, where it was an open source drawing, and then you could have an image folder of images. And normally these are going to be just black and it'll be just images where the curves have been adjusted, so there's only black and white, and then all the white is gone, or it's painted in a multiply layer, or however their algorithm works. Let me get rid of this. And of course, it has a mirror feature, so as I'm drawing, it's going to give me a mirrored image. And because I'm working on a character, or I'm in a class where we're going to be working on a character, I have to come up with some silhouettes to make a few different interesting shapes to see what I can come up with. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And the cool thing about it is you can set a brush to this image library, and every time you make a stroke, right, as you stroke, it's laying out different images. Not changing anything else. I'm just pushing and going around the canvas, right? So what that's going to do is give you a randomized shape that you can only kind of control. And so what that means is that by the end of your art project, or by the end of whatever you're working on, you have a good chance to have a completely unique design that nobody's ever come up with, because you've used these random brushes. This is a lot like using your own custom brushes in Procreate, and you can make your brushes here too. But by having a randomized pattern come out that is basically stamps, right? It's a bunch of random shapes. When you get into this later, you're going to have a new thing that you didn't even think you were going to have before, right? So in this stage, kind of what I'm going to do, and since this is live, I don't have any music to play for you guys. I should put on my music for myself, though. Let me see. If you guys want to listen along, I'm on SoundCloud as Mickey Schlick, and I should have a couple of playlists that are worth listening to. And whatever I'm listening to is going to depend on my mood. I like a lot of like mellow, chill stuff, unless I'm working real hard, and then I like some drum and bass that's just going to keep me going. Most of the time, though, I'm listening to some kind of classic rock / pop rap remix stuff. So it's like a ton of songs that you know and a ton of songs that like you've heard, all kind of mixed up in a new way. So pretty sure I'm not allowed to play that music. So this time, until I figure this out, yeah. So, okay, so I'm gonna shut up here for a little bit and just kind of try to come up with some of these silhouettes. Keep doing stuff with horns, but what if it had like a giant gaping open mouth in the middle of its head? And you're kind of just scratching around here because the trick is you want this to be pretty random. So I wonder why I keep doing these horns because I'm not super into horns. Now I'm new enough to this program. I've only used it a few times, and I've just got this brush set up in here like this, and now I can't remember really like how to get it off. So I wouldn't mind going into regular pen mode and getting a couple sketches done. Oh, here's my brush right here. Just the one. Okay, so let's do a regular brush and try this a couple times. There. I don't know all the hotkeys. The trick for all the digital stuff, man, you learn the hotkeys. If you can learn the hotkeys and you can keep that straight, then you'll probably be way better off. Let's actually get this pure ref back. Keep it on top, but we're gonna shrink the window down quite a bit. I've been following a lot of these artists that really are really good at making a character right from the gate, right? So they the pose and everything I guess is right, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to draw or what I want to create here, but I don't want to do it. I want to do it from a static angle and then pose it, right? So a lot of these characters are starting off posed, and I kind of want to figure out what I'm doing first because I'm pretty sure this class is it's a full body thing. So maybe I'll do some kind of horn wings. I really like this. lady down here. Kind of like this, right? She's kind of like a fawn. Long, slender neck. So, of course, you know, like everybody else, I like sexy girls. It's a thing. You know, all of us pretty much all like looking at beauty. I think that's like a given, right? But and everybody that's doing drawing or trying to learn about drawing, of course we all do. What if this is a mask or helmet of some sort? Of course, we've all done figure drawing classes, and I think with art, you know, good looking women or good looking nude body is one of the most pure things. You know, it's thousands of years of evolution and rolling over and seeing somebody that you're attracting to and needing that and like having that drive. It's just like so buried inside all of us, that, you know, why fight it, right? However, I have noticed in a bunch of years that sometimes I do better with like more texture and older people and male faces or whatever, but I tend to just not practice the females as much as I used to. So I kind of like this. And then what about? So now let's leave that on at the bottom layer. Come through here. Come back to this guy. What's this dude do? Oh, this is kind of cool. But we're not going to use that right now. Oh. So we're going to go to this one. I think this was the right one. Yeah, and we're going to get a new layer. The trick, I think, in my older age, is more about playing around and less about knowing exactly what you're going to do when you start. It's about knowing your tools and just feeling free enough to kind of create and play. And then then you can play with how dark your darks are and how light your lights are. Black ain't painting black, and we got a layer. I don't want the group. What if we just do a new layer? So this must be a me problem. Go. Cool. And this is another little trick that you can do. You know, you get a blob and put a couple little dots on it, and you got some eyes, and it's all all good from there. So I curse a lot on these streams. I don't know. That's how it works. Now, of course, if you're doing a tattoo and you know what you're drawing, you're going to handle things a little bit differently than this. But oftentimes, if you have an arm or a leg or an area where you know which way something's going and you know which way it's going to be turned, you can definitely use this tool to, or a tool like this to make a just a cool silhouette, like something you wouldn't normally notice or see. And so what we're trying to do here is just, it's basically like a Rorschach effect. Hopefully that was the right pronunciation. And so right now, watch this. We're going to turn all these guys on. See if we can. So I can move them all. But I can't. Can I? There's a box. Yeah. So we can shrink them all down. We don't want to shrink it off the screen or we'll be fucked. Right, and we can probably even go a little smaller than this. So now, I don't know. There's not so many hotkeys in here. You probably want the move tool. I do want the move tool, bro. Thanks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we can delete this one. I'm not feeling that. With these other ones, I kind of already feel a theme going. I'm not really wanting to stick to that. But I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Maybe if I do a female space ape. Okay, this is really good, and these two go together. And what it's going to do is just going to leave more interpretation up to you later. So I do like the girl with the wings in the head. I think I'm definitely doing that. I think I'm definitely doing some kind of like winged mask and bio hair shit that comes over the shoulders. I think is going to be my definite go-to. So we're going to take these and we are going to merge with the layer below. Cool. So now all this is in one layer. And what you can do is, I'm going to keep going with the black, but for the sake of showing you guys this right now, you can then, switch to white and shrink your brush down and work on the negative shapes within. Oh, that's not gonna work. You gotta turn off the symmetry, bud. Okay, so if you want to be real professional about it, do that in the new layer. And now what you're doing is you're gonna just make negative shapes inside the silhouette. So let's actually go back to black, and I'm gonna try layer plus symmetry. Live stream. What's up? Now, whether this is bunny ears or a wing. Be right back. Wait a minute. Hit a button and I don't have any more music. Play the music. It's playing the music. What if I switch it off and back on? Okay. So the cool thing about this is that, like, I didn't plan this. I didn't have any idea about doing anything like this today when I came in here or when I started this. And, we're still able to come up with something pretty cool in a relatively short amount of time. Obviously, can't do much with this in terms of, sales and finished product, but you could come from here. I kind of really like this, man, with all the like C curves, flats. Boob action. And I like to use grays too because, in the early process, you're just chopping shit up. Most of this shit will probably go in the trash. So, I think it's really important not to be scared of that. We don't do it a lot in tattooing, but what I notice people doing oftentimes is just a ton of like, there we go.
My key's in here.
I'm not seeing keys. I don't know.
No? If you don't see them right there, then they're not there.
Okay. I see some damn M&Ms. I'll take that. Okay, so, maybe I paused the music. I would do it. Okay. So, I am working with a couple of musicians and would like to get some background music that I can play in here and have rights to. I have a couple of subscriptions to some music software, and we can talk about that stuff on a different day, on a Thursday maybe. But be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you guys ever see me in here working, I'm gonna start doing all my work live. I think that's pretty cool, man. So let's go. And I really welcome people coming in and asking me questions, because once you get me started on one of these topics, man, I'll really get lost, whether it's design or characters or tattooing. I'm really not interested that much in teaching about tattooing directly. I never had a formal apprenticeship, and I think there's a lot of stuff in the art world that translates, but not all of it. So, like, once you learn the rules to tattooing, you can pretty much translate most of the other art skills, right? As long as you understand that it's got to have black, it's got to have hard edges, got to have nice edges. Got to have a nice silhouette, good perspective overlapping, that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't have to. Actually, tattooing is pretty much made so you don't have to have any lighting or perspective. This is getting too close to the other one. So let's do kind of like maybe an older person that's got like a nose and some eyes. think I'm finally at that point in my life where I'm gonna do this stuff anyway, even if I'm not getting any feedback. And I have to make a change with some of my clients, and I think part of that change, the thing that's going to be easiest for me to do in these times, since we're all kind of struggling a little bit, is let's see, little face here, little face here, little like insect face here, some shit, and then kind of a big one. Pull a couple little faces out of there, and I even like it if it's just like teeth on here. I saw a cool one. This guy did this really cool one. Actually, he didn't even do it. He just did the render. But it had this basic girl face. So let's get out of symmetry for a minute. Turn this layer off, turn a new layer on. Excuse me, go back to our pencil. Get a darker. Jagged teeth, big hair. I kind of like that, right? So that was pretty cool, and I kind of do need to do like a femme fatale, but I think I'm gonna make it different than that. I think I'm really vibing with this butterfly thing over here on Pure Rev. So if I go scroll in on that image, it'll bring just that image up, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna actually put some of this stuff on. I'm gonna separate this stuff out now. So some of this stuff, let's see. Let's make this window bigger. Scroll in, scroll out, scroll in, scroll out, scroll. Oh. The further away you go from the image, it's always going to try to scroll in to the center of the screen where your mouse is at. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to get rid of these animals because we like them, but they're probably not right for this project. We're going to get rid of this lady too. And we're gonna put this lady kind of on the outside, get rid of the devil guy, get rid of this guy, even though it's super cool. Same here. This one kind of makes it. These I like. I want to keep these because I'm gonna have to figure out something for the body, right? And this is probably gonna go with that. This is cool, but it's not really exactly what I'm looking for, so we're going to kind of have these separated out here, right? These are going to be our primaries. Here at the top, in the middle, we're going to have our just some secondary motivation. I really do like this harpy eagle, though. And, this is kind of like the thing about it, you know, in reference, you're supposed to use this stuff as inspiration, right? A lot of us take reference and then trace the lines and do the rest. And of course, I've done that, and everybody's done that. And when it comes to portraits and realism, that's kind of how you do it, I guess, you know. But yeah, you're not supposed to. You just kind of put up the ones you like, and I'm worried about this not being monstery enough or not having a pose enough. But these guys I'm taking these classes from do, it's like character design, so it's like always aliens, you know. But in tattooing, let's see what I can actually do with this guy for a minute. Oh, not that guy. This guy. Oh, this is kind of cool. Square edges. How about this guy? So what's happening here is as you use the lasso, you're making this shape. But before picking it up, if you cut back over itself, it's going to make some negative shapes. Oh, let's see. How do we do that? There we go. You see that? So I'm sure there's an algorithm to it. Let's actually go and try to get a little bit more monstery for this class. So we're going to do big head, small body, hulking mass of a person. Actually, maybe small body. Oh, that's kind of cool. Be like some kind of frog, dude. Very nice natural edges later. That's going to allow you to pick through all of this stuff. So we're probably not going to get to a finished product on this one. But what we can do is get these silhouettes done and then start chipping away. I like this. I like this. Very regal, maybe high collar type. I really want there to be a hotkey for color picker, dude. So if we say it's hit this guy, right? But all of us could predict this. Why are you forced us to we look like with a flat head at the top? I kind of like this, but I feel like this should be up higher. is, you know, shoulder pads. We got shoulder pads. We got a collar that comes way the hell up here past the head, and then we got the head mimicking that shape. If I can keep it. A little not too. So the trick is, you're gonna get so much more out of 800 thumbnails than you're gonna get out of anything else, man. If I were to sit down and try to do this and just make it, I could probably make something cool and I could probably make something unique, but there's going to be so much more that just comes out of playing and scribbling that I can use. So now what if this is some like demon samurai thing? It's wearing a girl's samurai head. I know there's no samurai girls, but you know, 2024 and all that shit. This guy's kind of cool, huh? I don't know if I go with it, but he could have some heads hanging down here or something. So kind of, I guess what I'm leaning on doing is go through and make heads, you know. And I guess that's probably not what I should be doing. So let's try it a different way. Let's try to go make a full body. So we're gonna start with an envelope. Okay, let's make this guy all black, just to see what happens. Now, what we want is this. We're gonna start chopping away at this silhouette here. You see we're off on the gray, so we're always going to have these extra little marks, and all those extra little marks are what's going to end up later on really informing the character. So now we want to break this guy up. let's change this pure ref stuff because I think that this. Kind of cool. So I think C is going to change it from foreground to background. But I could also just get in there and look up the hotkeys, and I'll be lazy. So big shoulder pads, big square blocky ones. Not that one. I like this one. This is kind of like a bug face with horns. Might be all right. Oh, what about a fawn lady? Yeah, I think I might like that, dude. They're kind of like custom evil antlers with a mask connected to the face, and then body should have a normal top half and the back half of a deer. So let's do this, do this, get that guy, come get this guy, turn this dude off. Oh, there we go. And we're gonna say that we want this person to be big horns, big horns. I don't know if I want maybe just teeth. If I want lips, I want like. And then So let's take a look at this. Yeah. And I think for this group, I'm going to also need some kind of like fabric and stuff. So she will have to be wearing something. And she will have, it might be a female Wendigo. Might be a good one. Okay. Kind of know what to do with that. So okay, so I think I know what I'm doing. Let's pull this one back up and I can mess with it a little bit and maybe show you guys. So let's go to brush. I want to be in this layer. We're gonna get rid of this shit. Kind of something like this, right? I'm getting away from it here. So let's go ahead and put Krita away since I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing here. And then now I really want to get in over here into ZBrush. Actually, before ZBrush, let me show you guys something else that's pretty cool. So if you're not into AI, that's totally fine. And I get everybody's conceptions and concerns about copying stuff and not being original and stealing other artists' work and that kind of thing. But Midjourney is a very useful tool for the same kind of thing, right? Creating something random when you don't know exactly what you're going to do. So I'm going to put that up on the screen. We're going to get rid of this pure ref for a second. Control Shift A. And I'm going to come over here to my server. And what I do sometimes is like if I'm going to make a new person, I'll come in here and play with my requests to make a face or a person. So these are all. So let's try. Let's do it from scratch. Let's go to / imagine beautiful woman with large eyes and sharp features. She should be fit and with dark hair. So let's see what we start out with here. So in Midjourney, what's gonna, oh man, it's not doing my screen. Okay, well, I guess maybe we won't be able to do that. Usernames have been truncated, disable. Ah, you cannot screen record Discord. That's unique, right? So that's not showing up in here for you guys. But we will open up Character Creator and go from there. So back over here in Midjourney. Oh, it is coming on. It is coming on. Okay, so same thing. We like this. Control copy / imagine. Same thing. Shot from straight on with a 50mm lens, portrait, beauty photography. Extremely realistic. But up here, oh shit. Okay, up here, let's close this one. Close that window. Large eyes, sharp features. Little to no makeup. Natural beauty. And this is not much further away than, browsing Google. You can take your own pictures, of course, and I really highly recommend that if you can find a model or two and just take them out, take some selfies, buy them lunch, whatever you got to do. Then you can take that selfie and make a sculpt out of it that will that'll be completely unique and yours. You can have it forever. So this keeps giving me these 3/4 views. I like these bottom two, so we're gonna go with number 3 and get a variation of number 3 so that I can have more options here, right? And then we're gonna zoom out. I actually like variations of number 1 up here too. And we can also just hit re-roll to re-roll the whole thing. It's going to give you 4 brand new options. And what we're looking for here really is, it's just the math on the face, right? Like, I feel like if we up-res number 3 here, we already got that, so we want to zoom out times 2. I like number 1 here, up-res number 1. Number 3 looks weird. Number 4 looks weird. Those look weird. Not into it. Okay. So we're going to up-res number 1. And now we have this picture, right? So we're going to save this image. And this is not a comprehensive course on any of these stuff. This is just kind of, I just want to show you guys some of the options that we have to create. So cancel this. I'm going to, this is a program called Character Creator. I'm going to create the character. I'm going to go to Documents, Downloads. Hey. This is what? Downloads, this PC. Local disk. Downloads. Well, that's weird. So let's go back to Midjourney. Right click, save image as downloads. So it's a download from today. Cancel. So we're gonna go back to Character Creator. Say we want to create a character. Oh, cancel. That's my fault. Load neutral base. That's what we wanted. And now by the time I get done with this character, it's not going to look anything at all like this. So we want to go over here to Headshot 2. We want to open a folder. We're going to take this last one we made, and we're going to open that, and we're going to say we want a female, clean and soft. Generate. So it'll take a couple minutes to come through here, and give this model some clothes, and or at least like a bra and panties, and change the face. Now you'll have a bald model, and we're gonna get rid of the skin data, but you have a complete human with a unique face. And if you are in ZBrush and you just open a default female, you can start this way too, right? And then you just have a whole female ready to go. But if you ever want to rig this, you have to go back. Now, I guess I wouldn't have a problem using this one today. But let's see what we get over here, since we're here anyway. And if you guys are super duper into it, then let's open this model. Lightbox. There should be in the projects folder or in the tools folder. Yeah, this one, Ryan Kingsleyan anatomy model. And the cool thing about this, when you guys get into it, is like one of the first projects I had was some stuff with a skeleton or a skull, and I went and bought it, and I didn't realize I went and bought a couple models that were not that great. You can model your own; it'll be fine. But in this, you have all of the bone structure or all of the muscles. So if you want to study anatomy and see where all these muscles go, you can really, really hyper focus on this. But as you turn these off, if you were to come up here to the top one and hit dynamic solo, you have a skeleton underneath, right? And so what that means is that you can model these other, let's get rid of that guy. You can model these other muscle groups. So if I'm in here in the latissimus dorsi, which is going to be in the back, right? You can BCB clay buildup and start digging through, and it's going to have the bones and stuff underneath. So that's a pretty cool effect. This is obviously not very high res, but you can see that if you can figure out how to nest models inside of each other, then you can do a lot of pretty cool stuff without a whole lot of work. So she's still got a weird color. So let's go ahead and go to skin and tongue and all this shit. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna just go to the content, and we're gonna give you clean skin. But we're not even taking any of this stuff with us to Photoshop, so don't even worry about it. Full skin. Now it is gonna make her naked while we do this, I think. We're going to just give a default female. They have a bunch of stuff in the store here, so let's see if we can get to the store. Visual bone pack. So let's go to... And I think this is character creators from Reallusion. There's another one on Unreal Engine, which I don't know about, and I think is better, but I'm not sure. I do really like this one. And there's a couple different ways to do what I'm going to show you guys today. And that is, well, actually, I'm probably not going to show this today, but I will be showing this. Let's see. Actors, accessories, hairs. So, obviously all of us are trying to learn how to do better and present our ideas in a more cohesive way so that people are more likely to purchase these things, the tattoos and stuff. So what a lot of people are turning to is trying to work on 3D models, or having a 3D model that you can project the design onto, so that it just gives a lot of visualization to the client. I want to there's a couple different ways of doing it. You can scan a person in, and the problem there is that you have the axis the person is standing on and the axis the camera is standing on, and if those things like the center of the room or whatever starts to get off of kilter, then the images aren't going to line up right. Then you also have photogrammetry, which is taking a ton of photos, uploading it to a cloud service, and then it will use those images overlaid against each other to make a mesh, right? Now, there's programs like Clone, Qlone, Qlone, Clone, and you can set those up so that it will take the pictures automatically, right? If you set your tablet, and I'm going to do a demo on this later, and you have your tablet going and you know what you want to shoot, it's going to take those photos as you move around the room. Now, minimum is 60 photos, so it needs a lot, and then it computes it in the cloud, but you have a model right there. Now, getting it from there to where it's cleaned up, optimized, still looks exactly the same, and you can draw on it. It's an extra step or two, and I'm working through that to share with you guys. I really like this answer of character creator, because you can take a selfie of your client and put it on a moving body. Now, the drawback is the skin might not be exactly the same. You can dial it in if you want to learn the program. You can really dial that in. But you can make the body type the same over sliders. You are going to miss all their tattoos and that kind of stuff. But you can see the new tattoo and with movement. So what I'm trying to do is I'm really trying to deal with a lot of like people that have fresh, clean sleeves and torsos. It's not really going to be hopefully super important for me to get their old tattoos in there. And even if they do have old tattoos, I should be able, there should be an offset between how this new work is going to look and how their old work is going to look, where they don't really need to see the old work there. They kind of want to see more of the new work. So I like this option because it makes people move. You know, you can do it while people are moving. Or what I should say is you can put the image on the body and then show people moving around. So I'll be doing demos on that stuff pretty quick. If you guys would like to sign up, please sign up for my list at lowbrownowhow.com and stay in touch. I'm going to be demoing all these programs and running a couple classes on them. So this is not giving me the skin that I want. So let's do this. Let's go to realistic human skin. Let's get a thin female, because that's what we're going to do here. Maybe I don't have the character selected. Now, why is this? So it's, yeah, so I'm doing that. So, okay, we don't want boobs on there. All right, so let's do, so we got the skin, and we're gonna, what's all this? Tongue, human material, scene. Let's go to scene. We're gonna go to character. Go to content. We're gonna try this one more time because I don't know why. It should change everything. Let's try skin base. Default female, clean. I don't want to ignore anything. Yeah, there we go. So what it's trying to do is keep the makeup of the face, because it's going to change all the skin color and it's going to just change it. So that original photo really matters how it is, because it kind of needs to be like lit the same. So obviously this girl looks absolutely nothing like this girl, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to get it into shape a little bit sharper features. And we're going to go back to character creator. We're going to get into the realistic human skin. Maybe we'll make her Asian. I feel like that kind of fits for this this project.
Now, the benefit of this is you can go back and forth from ZBrush and tune it up. The problem with this is that I'm going to be in ZBrush and I'm going to make a bunch of stuff that is not like applicable. So let's say we're into the skin. We like the skin. Body, sinew, eye decal, skin base. Okay, so let's get out of this editor because that'll give her a bra again. When you're editing the skin, it turns the body naked. So we have kind of a, I don't know. It's a female. I don't know how I like this skin. These elbows are jacked, but we're not really going to worry about that. So let's worry about the face. And so we're going to come here into character creator or into the modify section. And it's got all of these for the actor and for the actor parts and for the cloth. And let's see, actor parts. There should be one that says headshot. Okay, so like, okay, here we go. So in body, we have full body, shoulder, arm, all the different parts of the body. Then we have the head. And inside the head, we have the full head, the skull, the forehead, the brow, the eyes. So you can change all these things micro, like at a micro level. Then eyelashes. Now, this one here in headshot is going to double all this head stuff, but it's even more detailed, right? So they're like finer, more granular. And so what we're going to do here is start with the head. And I think we can probably shrink it down just a touch. Big brain. And then we're going to go forehead. Yeah, so you can see it a little bit, but these adjustments are really tiny. Actually, let's give her some eyebrows. So scene, content, all, brow. So some of these are movements and some of these are eyebrows. So Camilla hair. Let's go ahead and do this. Be a little bit less weird. Brow. Eyes. Eye scale. We want the eyes a little bit bigger. A little bit wider. No, we don't want them wider. We want wider. Yeah, there we go. And now over here, it'll have outer width, and then you can adjust it for each side. So if you don't want the character to be, if you don't want the character to be symmetrical, you can come in here and deal with that. So we want kind of higher cheekbones, kind of more hollow cheeks. Not super bad. A little bit bigger cheekbones on the nose. So there's a ton of settings for noses, right? So I like to look at it from the side. Doesn't really matter. Let's kind of go. We don't want a wide nose. We don't want a long nose. We do kind of want it to be like out a little bit. We want the upper ridge to be back. And then we got this weird curve in here. We don't really want that curve. Nose tip height. See how we've like sucked this thing out? So we kind of want that. But we want... Why is this... There we go. Now we can say I'm gonna deal with the teeth in a minute because I think I'm gonna make the teeth gnarly on this, and I think I'm gonna get rid of her lips by the end of it. But let's see. Let's do lip thin. Let's see what's up on your filtrum. Let's widen that out a little bit. So what we can do is come over here, edit facial. Modify. Jaw open. We're going to turn that to like 15, just so we know. And then we're going to get out of here, come back over here, start dealing with the teeth, right? Oh, that's teeth depth. We don't want that. Upper teeth scale width. We don't want that really. We want. Here we go. I'm going to have a very tall neck. It's very thin. And expressions. You can get super crazy with these. So we're going to set this back to 0. Oop, not 200. Oh, you can key in numbers over 100. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. Tongue, headshot. So let's go down to headshot and say we want head width. I think is fine. I wouldn't mind pulling the jaw in a little bit. Let's do jaw scale. No, not that way. Jaw, Control Z. Control Shift Z. Set that one back to 0. Control Z, Z. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. So now we got that. We're gonna go to headshot. So let's get rid of all this stuff up here and say head first of all. Upper head width is fine. Head lower width. Oh. So a bunch of these will have R and L next to them, and of course that's the thing. Let's do jaw width. There we go, a little bit better. A little bit better. A little bit worse. Now we're getting there. We gotta fuck the nose some. Very soft chin. Let's see, maybe a little bit stronger than that. And now here we have all this granular control. Jaw back height. Yeah, boom. There we go. Better. Yeah, just a little bit. I like that boxy back jaw, kind of Asian Russian type of thing. outer definition of the jaw. So yeah, I don't mind that. That's not bad, right? Well defined jaw. Middle width. Maybe there should be some more taper here. All right, let's leave the jaw alone for a minute because I feel like we've gotten a little bit away from where I wanted to go. So let's do the nose scale. Actually, big eyes, big lips, small nose is kind of the look when you're looking doing cheesecake stuff or anything that's like dealing with like attractiveness. It's easy to I think that the way that it works is when we think about kissing somebody, we focus on the lips, and when we talk to people, we focus on the eyes. So embellishing the lips and eyes is going to do a lot more than embellishing, say, the nose or the ears, right? And when it comes down to it, what we want to do is we want to idealize. So this nose is cool, but I want to mess with the nose shape. So now here you can go to, let's do the tip of the nose. You just want to focus on what's in the tip of the nose. So slightly bigger here. I think that's okay. Upper width, lower width scale. We're looking for the septum and the philtrum. And the philtrum might be in the lips. So let's lower the septum a little bit. Nostril. Turn it down a bit. Now, what if we do these lips? Let's see, bridge of the nose. Let's just leave this for a minute. Let's go ahead and leave that. We're going to come back to face, mouth, lips. And we're going to say upper lip, we want to make it small, almost non-existent, right? We don't want that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting rid of the upper lip on this. I might get rid of both the lips. Upper lip depth. Here we go. Start making her kind of mad. Upper lip fill. Even less. I don't really like that. So let's go back. We can deal with all that in Zbrush. But I would like Stop taking so long. Okay, so let's do body, because I want this to be, actually, we got some of that changed back. So it's not going to be that important for what I'm doing later. So let's say we have slacker, body thin. We're going to use this to change the body, but we could make the body fat. I think I'm going to give him long arms, give her long arms. I don't have any problems with this except for hand scale, finger length. I want kind of like longer than normal. Let's make sure I can see what's going on here. Looks decent, right? Now we're gonna do chest scale. Make that back to 0. We're gonna go, oh, this song sucks. Let's go to feed. Let's go to my playlists. My remix shit. I like that. 5 hours of remixes. Hard to go wrong. Okay, now we do want, okay, so we're gonna do chest, breath, proximity. I don't mind big breaths. Glute scale. We want better butt. What? So we wanted to have long legs, but especially long lower legs. And then calf scale. We're gonna make this stuff small. Oh, hey. Oh yeah, I see it growing, but only a little tiny bit. So what can I do? Negative 20? Yeah. Dude, oh, I just said negative 200. Now, the way that this program is made, it's made so that I'm going to do the foot length. It's going to be long, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Lower scale. Arm down, upper arm up, arm. Buttock seated. What the hell is this? Oh. Buttock squatting. Ooh. I mean, seeing these parts. Okay, so I don't really want that, but let's see, for the sake of argument. So the way this program is made is the program is made so that you can go back and forth from Zbrush to dial this character in, and then you can add motion to it. And let's say we want her to be posing. And so you can transfer this to other programs. So you go to Zbrush, and then you model it out, and then you send it back here to Character Creator, and then you send it over to Substance Painter for all your textures. And what you're doing is you're making your textures on maps instead of on a mesh. And I'll get into that on a Tech Tip Thursday, but they're different things, right? One is the geometry of the mesh, right? If you think of a rooster and then you think of a rooster made out of wire mesh, it's kind of the same thing. And then texture is like the actual colors and textures that are on that. And you can sculpt that in, or you can put that into maps. That's what Substance Painter does. It puts it on a 2D map. and then you can have a very high resolution map mapped across a very low resolution mesh, and the computer has to do much less work, which means all your animations are going to be smoother, faster, your images are going to look better, your renders are going to happen faster. So that's what you want, because at that back end of it, it's a time thing. And if you're rendering a 30-second clip that takes you 2 days to put together, and then it takes another 2 days for your computer to render it because you have a million polygons, or I mean, a million actually is not that high, but in any event, that's the goal, is to get something that looks realistic with the least amount of polygons possible, so that it's the easiest equations for the computer to do while it's running the simulations. But if you look over here now, we have this, and we can just make that character, which we just made. I've never met this person. I don't know this person. I don't know any people that look like this person. I came over here to Midjourney, and I made this person, who also does not look like that person. It just gave me a starting geometry, right? It just gave me a picture. I could have grabbed anything off Google, as long as it's flat, you know, probably with like not a lot of makeup. This is probably a little bit too made up. And there's a couple other ones over here that I like actually just as much, maybe more. So we're going to make those two, and I'm going to just save it for later. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to pause, and we're going to say we want a neutral pose, tune, female pose. We're going to do an A pose. And so that's just like a relaxed pose, motion pose, standing pose, female. So we want somewhere in the middle here of these. And if we could handle the pose here, that would be actually optimal. So let's see if we can pose a pose. And let's see. Actually, we don't want to do this yet. So first thing we want to do is pick the body and content, headshot, content, scene. So we want the character, we want everything, and we want to send that to Zbrush. And so when it says relink here, that means we have something that we've already done previously, and we haven't gone and deleted those files. So we're gonna have to go here to File Explorer, this PC, C drive, users, public, Pixelogic, projects, Gauss projects. And you'll see all these same things. Now, every time I'm going to get these same file names in here, but they're going to be different based on what I've made in here, because this is just the template that it sends out. So we're going to get rid of that, because we don't need it anymore. You don't have to save it. It's just there for going between programs. So now you see all of these say create, right? They say customer create, and body parts, eyelash, eye socket. So we want the eyelashes separated. We don't need any of this shit. We probably don't need any of that shit either. And we want to do the current pose. But we're going to cancel this real quick. I want to come back over here to the facial editor, go down to jaw. Oh, jaw. Open the jaw just a bit. And then now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to current pose. Make all that shit new. We want everything connected. And we're going to hit Go Z and see what happens over here. And I will be back in just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're gonna click. Oh, let's do frame because we'll see where we're at in space. And here's our model, right? So the way that it does the eyebrows and eyelashes, right, is it's gonna give you a whole solid piece of geometry, and then you're using masking to show or hide that geometry. So that's what this big mess is on the let's see if it, hopefully it gave it. Okay, brows are separate. It should give us separate lashes also. Winker, I don't know why they call them winkers and not lashes. So cool, dude. So now here's our piece, and we can hit Control D to kind of Alt to click the right object, Control D to tighten it up some. Actually, we're gonna go Control Z. Now, what I know I want a mask on it, right? So I'm gonna Control D. We might have to do this a couple times. There we go. I really love the spacebar function in ZBrush. Let's see. It's one of the better hotkeys I know. So now if you turn the focal shift, so this brush always has softness, but you can just turn it down and up, and they call it focal shift. So boom, 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 boom. So we can get rid of this later, and we're not gonna need that. So let's actually just do a line here, so we're not worrying about that at all. And then hit Control Alt and click, and that'll make the mask harder. All right. So let's actually try to clean it up some even more. kind of like it as a mask where it goes over her nose, but I don't think I have to make that decision yet. So I'm going to go ahead and skip it because it'll be easier going, easier going one way than the other. And now we hit extract, and that's way too thick. So we're going to turn this thickness down, and that's not nearly thick enough. So boom, that looks like a good thickness. And we're going to keep that. We're going to accept that. We're going to, right? But you can see that these lines are kind of like screwy. So we're going to get into here. We're going to come to Subtool, Geometry, Z Remesher. And we are going to have no adaptive size. We want to keep the groups. And we want to keep, we don't even need the groups or the creases really. So let's do this. And you'll notice this geometry change, right? You see how much cleaner it is. There's no big spot in the middle. If we do it enough, it'll get these edges too. And that's kind of what we want, is the lowest number of polygons, because while those polygons are low, we can hit, so we can hit B and V for move. And then it has this dynamic size thing on, which I don't like. So let's look at, what does it look like if it's on the nose more? Boom. So we're going to keep this. I'm not going to get too crazy with it because I want to add stuff that I'm going to have to use Sculptris Pro for. And so what we do is Sculptris Pro, actually, it might be better to do clay tubes. So B, curved tubes. And this part it's good to do slow. Yeah, because see it'll. Now what we want to do is go to Transform, Z Plugin, Texture Tool, Strokes. And Stroke, we're going to go to Curve Functions. We want to lock the start. Let's see what that does. Bam, that looks kind of cool. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to unmask it. And we want to move this guy. Draw size. I don't want this. How do I fucking get that? Oh, did I get it? I had it. I saw it happen. Draw. So now we're going to do BSH for snake hook brush. Wait. BSH. Yeah. Let's skip this until the next reset. So the snake hook brush, what this is going to do is it's going to pull. It's just like the move brush, but it's going to work. It's way stronger. And if you turn on this Sculptress Pro, what you'll notice, actually, let's turn that back off for a second. Now, if these are our polygons for these two parts of the model, and we pull, it's not going to change that geometry at all. It's going to move that geometry, but 0.1 is still 0.1. Like, it's not going to check. They call it the vertex order, the way that it's ordered in the list. But if we turn this Sculptress mode on, it's going to do dynamic geometry. And so if we have a very small brush, it's going to give us a lot of geometry to pull out. You see how it like really changed all of that? And if you use a very large brush, which we can't do, but we're going to have to just get to it, it will do less. So let's see. This is not letting me do what I want to do, so I have to get this problem figured out real quick. It's this button, draw size, S. What if I turn this down? So when you get that off, I'm sure there's a hotkey for it. Alt S. Ooh, this file is standards. Well, we didn't want that. Cancel. So now, if I want to pull this down and make it more than it is, I can do that, and it's just going to give me more and more geometry, and you see how the active points is going up. So now we were all of a sudden in the 850s, right? And now we want I had it. See the brush get real large for a second. There we go. Okay, so now if I click on this, you see how the geometry goes back to nothing? So that's where the Sculptress Pro mode is really beneficial, because it can do just so much. So let's go. Inflate these a bit. And you see how it's like changing that geometry as we go. So it's still symmetrical. It still has a little bit, but and now we can smooth this stuff out. Let's make this all one group. Let's see. We're gonna mask this all off and hit Control W. Now it's all one piece. We're not gonna want that forever because these are gonna be different textures, right? So for right now, mesh compose, delete or freeze. So we don't want, what we want to do here is we want to do Z remesher. Actually, we want to escape. We want to do a Dynamesh here. So we're going to do okay resolution. Nope. We want to get rid of all that stuff. And what Dynamesh is going to do, it's going to really glue this together, right? And so maybe we should have done that a couple steps ago. So let's go here. And then we say Dynamesh. And we're going to actually give it a pretty good resolution. This trick, let's see double if we do it. Z remesher double. It's somewhere around 2 million. Boom. Okay, so now we have a nice clean thing that's all glued together, all one poly group. And now we're going to do half. Try to get it back down. Error remeshing. So we're going to do mesh integrity, fix the mesh. Z remesher, half. I only took away 100,000, so we're going to get rid of this half. I'm going to say we want it to say 57.6. That's going to drop us down to 100,000. So, BCB, clay buildup, dude. We're trying to weld this little section together is what we're trying to do. And then we want to Dynamesh it. BMT, move topological might be the trick here. Yeah, so this is not welding them together in the way that I wanted. Okay, so that's cool. That's an easy problem to fix. We just get them to weld a little bit better. Boom. Let's actually get this out here a bit. I want this little like thing out of there. We don't want that. It's not really terrific. But we do want inflate this a little bit more. The thing with horns, people always think of them as being real, horns and teeth being very sharp, but really they're very hard. And a lot of times they're not super sharp, but they're so hard, like you could easily stab yourself on them. So you don't normally ever, whether it's dragons or rams or whatever, you don't normally want to do real tight antlers, right? Real anything that's real tight like that. So now we want to mesh integrity, geometry, modify topology, close holes. Close holes. And so it's, I don't know what this area is doing right here, but it's blow it up a little bit, try to Dynamesh it again. So the Dynamesh, what it's going to do is just weld everything together that's touching, right? So it'll make it all into one layer. So we close those holes. Now we're going to say Z remesher, and we want to do half because we're at 1.8 million on this thing. Boom. Oh, we don't want that. BSJ. So this is going to be a spiral brush. And I like this because what we can do then is turn this stuff. Oh. Come back over here to Sculptress because you want to add for this. Let's mask all this shit off. Try the antlers again. Oh, and I lost it. Well, that sucks. Okay, so let's see if we can get it back. And in any event, I'm going to shut it down for today. Come and go over some of these things later. I don't know if I'll finish this or if she's how I'm going to do it. So if we come over here to the end of the quick saves, which I probably need to dump out of here anyway. Boom, recovered document, recovered. So that's the only one we got. A ZPR is going to be a Z project file. Boom. So BMV BSH. Put on Sculptress. so let's go BSJ. That might be cool. BIN. And so what this is going to do is just put like a shitload of geometry in there. Right, so that when we go back later to Dynamesh and all that stuff, it's got that information. Right, so now we go, now we're just moving, no Dynamesh, right, and we're gonna do dynamic solo, and we're actually gonna make this, I wanna make this very straight. Boom. And then we're going to turn off the line fill, get out of the mask. We're going to go to geometry, modify topology, delete hidden, close holes. Okay. So now this thing is a solid piece. We don't really want to do that actually. Let's do this. So there's 2 layers in here, but it's closing the wrong layer. It won't really matter. Let's do it. Let's just go close holes. And then that's solid. Something's wrong. So I don't want to do that. Let's go Control Z. Let's bring all that shit back. Let's go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go like this. And then we're going to go like this. And we're going to Control W, and that's going to give us groups there, right? So you see this line. And now what we can do is go to Subtool, Geometry. Actually, we're going to go to comma. For the lightbox, brush. We're going to wait over here until we get to smooth groups. Okay, and then when we hit shift, you see that line will become very straight. Let's not do that. Let's go get rid of. All right, smooth all those groups out. And then we do it on the inside also. Control Shift hide, skip that. And now we have a very straight line, and we're gonna try it again. We're gonna say to delete hidden, close holes. And that's as close as we're getting at the moment. So let's say we're gonna do subtool. Oops. We're gonna go to polygroups, auto groups. Auto groups. We're grouped by edges. Grouped by normals. Oop. So group. All right, we're not even gonna worry about that right now. We can get rid of that pretty easily. So what we want to do is, let's say we're gonna go BSJ, This isn't going to be my final, but I'm going to have to go to work here in a minute. So ESJ. So now let's just, for the sake of it, because I'm going to get out of here for today, we're going to subtool, geometry, Z remesher, half. It's only 100,000 points. It's not that wild. So let's go to keep groups. So this isn't the greatest, but just for the sake of it, let's go. Subtool. Let's do this. Subtool. Geometry. Oh yeah, geometry. Modify topology. Delete hidden. And now we want to go to polygroups, autogroups, groups by normals. There should be auto groups. Group by normals, group by edges. Regroup by edges. Group by normals. All right, well, whatever. So we're going to take this and we're going to go subtool and we're going to turn off that. We're going to turn on BPA. We got to turn this guy off. We're going to shrink it down. We're selecting black and we're making this thing a black mask. Right? And then we're going to go to like a brown. And I'll do a more complete demo on this later. I just want to like have some stuff up so that the apps can work and do their magic, clipping it up and all that stuff. Now we turn off dynamic solo. We have the girl back, but this is the only thing with any poly paint, right? So now what we do is we rename this as hat, right? And we know that, okay, fine. Underwear bottoms. Anyway, we're going to GOZ because that's how we got this over here, all. And then that's going to open up character creator back up. Let's see what happened here. Is it not doing it? Is it doing it? Yeah, here we go. Oh. And we're going to update all these. Base eye. I'm fucking something up here. So, great clothing. It's an accessory. I guess it could be clothing. It could be accessory. I don't really know. So let's update it. See what happens. Of course, it's gonna need a minute. This song is way too much for me. Otis Redding, man. I should do an Otis Redding portrait. When the evening comes, watching the ship rolling. Okay, so let's mess something up here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but come on. We can now motion, pose. Let's see, female posing. I wonder why I did all this. I think because it's a recovered tool and didn't come back. It gave me a new body, and the old body is there on top of it, right? You see how it says CC base body and also base plus that has the base body? So we don't want this one. This is trash. We want to delete that one, right? And then we're going to delete these winkers because we already have that. And we're going to go to the hat. And then we want to rotate it. Hat, come on. Oh, yeah. Now let's see. Female, emote, play. Okay, so right now it won't do anything. So motion, female, pose, a pose. Okay, but I need this, and I need to move it. Why is it not letting me move? Maybe I need a mouse. Do I need a right click? Scale, parent. So let's see. Transfer skin weights, hair, brows, beard, polygon reduction, object, edit mesh, edit spring, transfer skin weights. So there's a thing in here that is going to allow me to connect this hat to the head. Activate physics, general satin, fleece, linen, diamond. Okay. So we can get super crazy in this program. But I just gotta figure out how to move this hat because usually hide bone gizmo, original, all shadows, normal, unlock, show, hat. So here's our move tools, and it's not moving. Do I need? Am I locked in? It's unlocked, right? Unlock one. I want it unlocked. What's this? I don't want to morph it. I want to move it. Let's see. What's this? I think I just gotta move it forward. Base plus. Wow, this is annoying. Let's see. Reillusion character. Man, I cannot spell character. H-A-I-C-T creator. Move tool. Camera and transform tools, general toolbar. Undo, redo, select. Yeah, I get it, buddy. Move along the X, Z. You can directly move the object in the viewport. Now, maybe, what if I'm too zoomed in? No. There we go. It's too zoomed in. What a dummy. Boom, boom. Scale. Move. Now, I don't like these eye holes, and I don't like the fact that I can see this interior part. So let's actually move the scale and get rid of that interior issue. And I also don't know how to move the gizmo, dude. Gizmo. Blah 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 blah. Data we may turn on the gizmo by means of the preferences. No. It's got the gizmo in 80 different languages, but not how to move the center of the fucking gizmo or the control point. So let's go back page. And then let's say all shadows original hide bone gizmo. So preference control grid play bar modify skin docking, knowing facial expressions, poses, importing bone skin model to create humanoid characters, creature characters, humanoid characters with accurigs, bone modifications. We're looking for accessories. Cloth layer, hiding inner meshes. No, I want to skin weight. What is skin weight? Creating assets into character creator and manually editing skin weight for custom clothes. We want to connect. Pipelines, props. How do we connect a prop? Building a scene, pivot of prop and accessory. Merging meshes with identical materials. Prop and accessory point, pivot point. Set the pivot location, character creator, gizmo, and go to the pivot section. Under the attribute tab in the modify panel? Are you fucking crazy? That's so much work. Using quick set. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go before adjustment. Let's go to physics simulation. Settings, rig, soft cloth, global physics, utilizing the sky, lighting, visual effects, export. Okay, so that did nothing for me. Let's go to this bone, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to say material list, hat, same material. How do we connect it? We're going to attaching accessories. Creating an accessory. Creating a character with accessories. We attach the character without skin weights, which is perfect for rigid accessories or soft clothes. Binding to the correct bone. That's what I want. Okay. So select an accessory. Boom. Modify. Attach. What? Bitch. Accessory. Modify. Accurig. Attach. There we go. Here it comes. We're coming. Okay, we want to attach this to, not the hip. We want to attach this to hey, where's the damn head? Head. Right, there we go. Boom. Okay. Now let's see what happens if we do this. Yeah, all right. Okay, so let's see if we do this. Let's get rid of all this shit. Now, we would have to go into Substance Painter or a program like that to texture this, but we can get it all to work together. I'm still learning this. I'm really trying. And I really want to bring that back to you guys, back to the tattoo community, because it's just so powerful and so fast. Like, I've made a whole person that doesn't exist, looks like a real person. Once I get into the rendering software, I can light it and angle it however I want. And we can add motion to this, right? So if we make our character and the clothing in a T pose where we're able to work with symmetry the whole time, then very quickly we can make a character and we can get it back over here and get it moving, right? So in this instance, I'm going to make a monster for a different class. I might use this girl, I might not. I kind of like the like a female Wendigo type of thing, but I don't know if that's right yet, if that's what I'm going to do. So that's where programs like Krita come in, because it's going to give you the ability to just play around and make a bunch of stuff that may never go anywhere, right? You're getting all the bad ideas out and onto the paper, or the screen, or what have you. Then you can come over here, you take some of the information you have from that, use Midjourney to make a head, maybe you have some reference already, who knows, and then project that onto a dummy human, tell it that you want that human to be a woman, and then once you get all the parts figured out, you can come back here and make it move around and pose and do all kinds of different actions. You can download different actions. You can make it do whatever, and it will do all these actions for you. And then, so for instance, what my goal personally is, I have two goals with this kind of program. Number one, show clients tattoos on a moving body that moves with you. Number two, make characters of my own. Like, you would want to make a couple of females, a couple of males, a couple of different races, and then you have your own characters all the time. You put in the work one time, making this model awesome, and we're gonna get back into that later. I'll sculpt this face down, and I'll do the antlers just right, and I'll do her lower half like a goat or whatever, and it'll be the same thing. We can go back and forth, and the trick there is, if I spend, how often have you spent a day or 2 days on a tattoo design? If I spend a day or 2 days on one of these creatures, it's going to be extremely realistic. and I'm going to be in a situation where I can just open up the rendering software and take a new picture of it for a new tattoo. So if I do something that I like, or if I do something that I know is popular, right, I can use that many times from many different angles. It's like having a rose garden in your yard, right? You can use the rose garden to go out every day and take new pictures of roses if you want, and they'll be different all the time, and you can, you know, find a million different angles and light settings and lighting situations to make it just perfect. So next time I'm gonna be a little bit more set up, and we'll get into a deeper program. I'll either be filming myself creating this character or making a different one, maybe like a different monster. But yeah, hopefully you come and join me and find one of my sculpting sessions and ask me some questions, because I need stuff to talk about while I do this. I am moving to where I'm going to be doing mostly, at least all the computer work that's on a desktop online, and I'm really looking for people to come ask questions and talk about it, so that I can learn and grow, and you can learn and grow. I think that's where it's at these days, man. Okay, well, I gotta go to the shop. Thank you guys very much. This has been fun. Mickey Schlick, Lowbrow Knowhow, signing out.